Namaskar. I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. You're watching us on PME Vidya channel number 2 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. Well, this session is meant for our tiny tots of class 2 and the subject that we have taken up today is English. Under the subject English, we're taking quite an interesting chapter from your textbook. Yes, this is chapter number 3, titled The Crow. What is special about this crow that we're going to learn in this session? Well, we will reveal the details to you in a while, but before that, let me tell you the session is live and interactive, which means you can give us a call, you can message us, or you can also write an email. Please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. We also have an email ID for you, and that is dth.class2@ciet.nic.in. Last but not the least, we are streaming live on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. So you can always go to the comment section or live chat box, put in your questions there and get in touch with us instantly. Now, who is there with us to talk about this crow? Yes, we have invited our expert in the studio and we are joined by Miss Anu Gupta. Ma'am, namaskar and welcome to the session.
Thank you so much.
Well, let me tell you all that ma'am is teacher to English and we will go ahead with ma'am and we will have a very unique and interesting conversation about this crow. But first of all, let me just know what exactly we are going to learn today. Is it a story, a fiction, a poem? What exactly it is?
It is a poem, dear Harpreet, and it's a very important and a unique one. The concept that we are going to take today will take our students to self-acceptance. But what is self-acceptance? Let us talk about these words a little later and see our banner of the chapter, The Crow.
Now you're saying self-acceptance, quite a heavy word for
Yes.
our tiny tots.
Yes.
So are you trying to say that, they must accept that they are naughty ones?
Yes, no, I would not say that our learners are naughty. Rather, self-acceptance is very important at every stage, be it our tiny tots or as elders we are. So why not tell our students, our young learners at a very early age how important it is to accept oneself as one is.
Okay, so why not share one example of self-acceptance?
That is what we are going to do in the poem and I'm not going to spill the beans beforehand.
Oh, all right, so are you going to recite the poem right away?
No, before that we are going to do a few new words, dear children. Let us see the new words so that you become familiar with these words when we see and recite the poem with you.
All right, let's go ahead.
Sure. And our first new word is a beautiful rainbow. And how does it look like, dear children? It's full of colors, and when something is full of colors, it's called colorful.
Okay, so that's the first new word, colorful.
Yes, it's colorful, our dear children. First word for our poem. Second word is a feather. A beautiful feather is next to the word also, and we are going to see a lot of feathers in the upcoming session also, dear children. So brace yourself and stay tuned with us.
I'm sure our students or viewers have seen a lot of feathers around them, whenever they go to some park or even in their balconies, they can see some feathers.
Definitely, even I was hunting for feathers to show my dear children here, because since we are doing a lesson, a poem about the feathers, a crow, so I wanted to show many feathers to our learners and check whether they are able to identify which feather belongs to which bird.
So were you able to collect them?
I was able to do a little bit. Let us see if our learners will identify which feather is of which bird.
Okay.
Moving on, we have our third word, wings. Now, wings and feathers are similar words, but let us find out the meaning of wings. A wing, it's a collection of feathers actually that birds use for flying. When feathers are collected together on the body of a bird, as you can see, dear children, there are different visual of birds. You can identify several birds here. Can you identify, Harpreet, which all birds are there?
Yes, why not? I think there is one, I guess it's a kingfisher, which is quite blue in color.
Yes.
And then we have this jet black, looks like an eagle, but I don't know whether it's
a crow
eagle.
only.
It's a crow only. Okay, the mountain crow.
Yes.
And then we have, of course, wild pigeon.
Yes, a very commonly found pigeon.
Yes. And we also have this very sweet pigeon that's totally white in color.
Yes.
That is generally the bird that unfortunately people cage, but one must not do that.
Yes, you are very true. Though that is, people keep them as a pet.
Yeah.
So you are very right. You should not keep the birds caged. And moving on with that, we have another word, another. Now, what is the meaning of another? Another means one more thing of same kind.
Okay.
Like, if I talk with you, Harpreet, and I say, okay, I like this coffee very much. Can I have another cup of the same thing?
Oh, all right. So,
So,
when you're asking for, or when you're signifying it something which is exactly the same, you use the word another.
Yes.
Okay.
So, dear children, I am urging you here, why don't you write down your version of another, use this word another in a sentence and write down in the comment box.
Absolutely. So, you can also email to us, or you can just send us your newly framed sentences on our live chat box. We are waiting.
Right, and here we are ready with our poem, The Crow.
All
and
right.
let's find out what is so special about this crow.
Yes.
So, I am going to recite it, and I'm hoping that my children who are watching this show will also sing along with me. There once was a crow, he was a black, as you know. How to be beautiful he wanted to know. Colorful feathers he wanted to grow. He found one peacock feather, he stuck it in his tail. Then he found another, he picked up all without fail. He stuck them in his wings, put one on his head. I am now beautiful, he danced and said. The other crows laughed at him. Oh, what a fool you are! You are beautiful in black. We love you for what you are. A wonderful poem, dear children, and such a beautiful message it gives that the brothers of the crow love him the way he is.
Absolutely.
Because he is one among them.
Oh, you must not try to change yourself by looking at others. You are unique in your own ways. So similarly, if you are this cute little boy with wheatish skin tone, you are absolutely handsome, my dear. And if you're the sweet little girl who is little slim or a little chubby, that's perfectly all right. You're a beautiful sweetie pie for us.
Wonderful topic that you have chosen to speak, Harpreet, on. Since India is a diverse country with variety of cultures and different landscapes, we have different weathers and all kind of somewhere it is very hot, somewhere it is very cold. So we find different skinned people everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is not about how we appear, it's the qualities that we have. That's what matters.
Of course, and no matter what your skin tone is and no matter what your family background is, for example, if your father was a businessman or if your mother was a teacher, accept it wholeheartedly that you belong to a family of service people or you belong to a family of business class people. That doesn't matter. You are unique in whatever way you are.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with this very important message that we have given our students to be self-accepting
Yes.
and valuing oneself.
True.
At the same time, giving value to others also, developing empathy for others. That is
Yes.
also very important.
Especially if you think that they are a little less privileged than you are. You know what happens at times in a classroom, there are kids who bring very fancy pencil boxes and then there are others who have very simple pencil boxes, and you know these kids with simple pencil boxes, they often feel disappointed.
Yes, they do.
Don't have such things or such flashy things, but that is all right. Whatever you have is actually yours and you should be happy about it.
Yes, and in fact, yesterday only I was learning a poem, another chapter with my son. It was about a stone cutter. He wanted to be something else. And there is another very famous story in Hindi where woodcutter
Yeah.
finds an axe.
Yeah.
And he encounters a jungle spirit. And this jungle spirit grants him several boons. And he says, I want an axe of gold, a silver. You know, such kind of stories are always there. But eventually, what is the conclusion of such kind of stories, dear children? The story of these kind of stories are, the conclusion of these kind of stories is that however you are the best. You can try to become a better version of yourself. Of course, there is always a scope to become better. But let us not compare oneself to another person.
And like we have seen in the poem, ma'am, you know, let's do one thing now, revisit the poem stanza by stanza so that if you can explain what in each paragraph is happening,
Sure.
right?
So we can do that.
Yeah. So let's go to the first stanza of the poem and let's see how it all started. And okay, so I'm reciting it and you explain.
Sure.
So there was once a crow. He was black, as you know. How to be beautiful, he wanted to know. colorful feathers he wanted to grow. I mean, he must have was some bird who was very colorful.
Yes, right. So the crow already wants to be somebody else as we begin the poem.
Yeah.
Right, and he thought that he is not beautiful as it is.
He's not happy with his black
Yes.
color.
And he is assuming that by gaining colorful feathers, he can become beautiful.
Oh.
So in the first stanza itself, the crow is doubting itself that it is not beautiful.
And also comparing himself to others.
Yes.
That is so bad. You should never do that.
Yes. Of course, it is bad, but our children do not know that. You know, they are grown by comparing. Since as parents, we also do that many a times that, okay, you are not studying this much. See, the son of that guy is studying that much. So, comparison starts, our students, our learners or our kids learn from hearing what they hear from their parents, their elders or their teachers. So, this is another, what should I say, a moral or a teaching and advice to elders also to not compare your learners, your kids to others.
So we can say the color you're born with, the family you are born into, be very proud of that. See, your parents are doing so much of hard work to send you schools, to get you new clothes and to make you this beautiful child that you are.
Yes,
right?
wonderful.
So let's go to the second stanza.
Yes. So you're going to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He found one peacock feather, he stuck it in his tail. Then he found another, he picked up all without fail.
Wow. So seems like the crow's wish has come true and what he wanted has actually been found by him. He has found one peacock feather and look what he has found, another, and there are many more feathers, and what he is doing, he is picking them all without any fail. So when you find something which you desire very much, then you don't leave any chance that you lose it.
I think he became really desperate to have all the feathers, and that is why. And also, he was super excited that he finally found something that he was looking for.
Yes, absolutely. And we are going to have a beautiful picture in the next visual that we are going to see, where the crow has put up all the feathers in his own feathers.
Now, that is a very funny picture, I must say. But let me recite the stanza first. He stuck them in his wings, put one on his head. I'm now beautiful, he danced and said.
So, right, here the crow has already stuck the feathers as he wanted from the first stanza, that he wanted to look like a peacock. And he thought that by sticking these colorful feathers, he can become more beautiful.
Like a peacock.
Yes.
And, so still in his head, he wants to be a peacock.
Yes.
And he is now thinking that he has grown into this beautiful bird because he has acquired some feathers.
Absolutely. Since from the very childhood, we have heard a lot about the beauty and the grace of peacock. The children also find that peacock is the best beautiful bird amongst all.
But don't you think that amidst all these things, the crow is actually forgetting about his own uniqueness?
Absolutely. That's what the poet is trying to say here in this poem. That trying to impersonate somebody else, he's losing his uniqueness.
Yeah, his own identity.
Yes, what is making him different from other birds? He's losing that uniqueness here.
Right. So what happens next? Let's see very quickly.
Yes.
And here we have it on our screen also, which you can also watch. So, what happens next? The other crows laughed at him. Oh, what a fool you are! You are beautiful in black. We love you for what you are. Now, even I find this crow really funny when he has put on all these feathers and he thinks that now he has become peacock. I think he was really making a fool of himself out there.
Yes, here I have two thoughts. One, this crow was really fortunate to have such kind of companions, brothers, I should say, who actually told him that he doesn't need to change himself. You need to have good friends around you who always tell you that you are, that tell you that you are the best, however you are, right? And the second opinion that I have here is, I did not like that the other crows were laughing at him. Being true friends also mean telling your friends gracefully about their mistakes or the misdeeds that you are doing, telling them in a better manner.
But don't you think that here the first impression is as if the crow has actually done something strange to himself or herself here? Because see what happens when we do not know how to dress up and we try to impersonate the other or try to compare ourselves with others, we generally tend to put up things which really do not suit us.
Yes,
Absolutely. So this way we just spoil our dressing sense and we make a fun of ourselves in the crowd, and that's what happened here. Because the crow already had his own black feathers, and what he did, he you just inserted peacock's feather. And I think that's why everybody laughed.
Yes, I agree with you, Harpreet.
And there you're right, ma'am, because you also said something very beautiful, that we must have friends who are genuine and who can speak truth to us.
Absolutely. That's what friends are for.
Yes.
Right, dear children? So, I'm again asking you to write down the names of your friends in the comment section. Those whom you consider your best friends, who are with you in every thick and thin.
Yes.
Right.
So we're waiting for your comments and your answers, and let's now move ahead. What else we have?
We have a wonderful speaking activity here, children.
Okay.
Do listen to it, since we are going to converse with each other. We also wish you send us your responses regarding the questions that we are going to talk about.
And if not now, then don't forget to email us.
Yes. So the first question is, so Harpreet, which birds do you see around your house or near your school?
Oh, sure, lot of birds around my house. In fact, around my school as well. I see a lot of sparrows, crows, peacocks at times, and of course parrots are also common these days. And pigeons, wild pigeons, a lot of wild pigeons actually.
That's amazing. And while coming here, dear children, when I was coming here to teach you this lesson, I spotted a lot of peacocks here.
Wow, lovely.
And it always makes my heart happy when I see peacocks or any other birds roaming around freely without any trouble or without any scare that they will be hunted.
And you were talking about some feathers also, right?
Yes, I was hunting for the feathers also. So here I want to show the children and ask them whether they identify the feather that I have put up here.
Lovely activity. So can you identify, because we are not going to reveal it this time, just identify the feather, the bird, whose feather it is, and
it's
write
a very famous feather which is green and blue in color. Beautiful. And it also belongs to the national bird of our country.
Well, that's the biggest hint you have given actually.
So yes, dear children, I am once again asking you to write down which bird does this feather belong to.
Lovely.
Yes.
Okay, so what next we have?
Yes, moving on to the next feather, let us see whether you are able to identify this feather or not. It's a very commonly found feather.
Yes.
And I did a lot of work finding this feather.
Yeah, sure.
So I am going to ask Harpreet here. Harpreet, can you identify which bird's feather it might be?
Oh, well, why not? I think it's a crow or
is
a pigeon.
Is it a crow? Yes, you're right. Your second guess is right.
Wild pigeon.
Yes, wild pigeon's feather it is, since it has grays, mostly grays in it, and crows mostly have dark blacks in it. And yes,
so that is the real clue for you how to identify, differentiate between two such feathers, because they're almost similar.
Yes,
right.
And I'm going to put up a few more feathers for you, dear children.
Okay.
Since we did a word in the vocabulary section, which word comes to your mind looking at these feathers?
Wow, they're so colorful.
Yeah, you spilled the beans. You already spilled the beans, Harpreet.
Yeah.
That was a word that I wanted to ask children. These are colorful feathers. Of course, dear children, these are not real feathers. These are colored feathers that I found from a stationery shop. Since I wanted to show you different variety of feathers and I could bring just two, so I went to the stationery shop and brought these colorful feathers for you to know what colorful means. Colorful means having lot of colors. So we here see a pink, a green, a red also, and some oranges also.
Well, you brought only two, but I'm sure that our students, our viewers can collect many more for us, and they can also send us the pictures of the same. So it's an activity for you. Why don't you just go around, look around for more feathers in park or in vicinity, somewhere near your house and under the supervision of your parents.
Now coming back to the topic, I'm going to ask you, Harpreet, can you find some qualities about crow?
Crow, okay. First of all, I really like the color black. I'm wearing black today as well.
Same as me.
God. So I really like the color black and grey, the combination. And of course, we have also seen the crows that are jet black in color, totally black. They are mostly found in the mountainous regions.
Yes.
And the voice is quite unique. The kind of voice they have, the shrill voice, and what else? I think they're commonly found birds. And when you see birds around you, you feel good. So they definitely bring a lot of happiness to me.
So yes, as Harpreet rightly said, that they are very commonly found, and yes, they are very adaptable also.
Yeah.
And dear children, do you recall a story in Hindi called Pyasa Kaua? We all have grown listening to that story, Pyasa Kaua, where the intelligent crow kept on putting stones in the vessel and the water came up.
I was actually thinking that today we are going to discuss that only in the session. And this reminds me of something very important. You know, summers are approaching now. So are you putting water for these birds somewhere in your balcony or on your roof? I think it is very important.
Yes, and a wonderful thought to say in middle of this chapter, to always keep some water for the birds so that they can survive in the scorching summer.
Yeah, some water, some cold water when it's scorching heat outside, and of course some grains as well, which they can feed on, and I think that's very important.
Yes, here I would like to talk about peacock and other animals also and their unique qualities. Since we talked about crow already, peacock, as we all know, that it's a national animal and it has vibrant
national
colors.
Bird of India.
Sorry, yes, a national bird of India, and it has vibrant feathers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about parrot also. Do you recall any other qualities in parrot?
But before coming back to the parrot, you know, there is one distinct feature about a peacock and a peahen, which generally people get confused with, you know.
Yes.
Peahen doesn't have such big feathers like peacock. So if you're a little confused and you don't know how to identify which one is a peacock and which one is a peahen, then just look for these colorful feathers.
Absolutely, a wonderful information to add up.
Yeah.
And since we were talking about the parrot, parrot mimics.
Eats green chilies.
Yes, it's said that they eat green chilies and they mimic human sounds.
Yeah.
And they also remember whatever has been told to them. So these are some qualities associated with these birds that we talked about, and that's what they make. These qualities make these birds distinct.
And what about the colors? That beautiful green color and that red beak. It's amazing. Out of the world.
Yes. So we discussed the qualities, and let's move on to the other activities that we have for our kids.
Sure.
Yes, wonderful. We have syllables here. Dear children, we are going to do an activity based on syllables.
Okay.
Syllables can be found and identified where you find vowels, dear children, as the words are broken into syllables. And what we are going to do, Harpreet, here is we are going to clap after each syllable. So the children will identify where one syllable ends and the second begins.
Why don't you do it for me once so that I can follow you?
Sure. So first word is peacock, and how it is spelled in syllable is P-cock.
Okay, okay.
So let's do it together now.
Sure.
Next word is feather, and how it is said? Feather.
Okay.
Wonderful. Moving on to the next one, beautiful. Beautiful. Great. Wonderful, Harpreet.
Thank you.
Going on to colorful. Colorful.
Okay.
And lastly, we have another. Another. Great. Wonderful. I'll clap for you, Harpreet.
Thank
Great,
you.
great.
And that's a lovely activity. I enjoyed it. I'm sure that our viewers, you know, equally enjoyed this clapping session of ours.
Yes.
And now we are left with few more minutes. So what else is coming ahead?
So yes, we are going to, we identified the birds. Let's identify the words very quickly here. Which all birds do you see on the screen, dear children? Write down on the comment section, and here I am taking help of Harpreet.
Great. So I am representing you, and do not disappoint me. We are waiting for your answers. The first one is a swan.
Yes.
Then we have a parrot.
Absolutely.
Then we have a sparrow.
What do we call sparrow in Hindi?
Chidiya.
Chidiya and goraiya.
Oh, okay. And which one is this? I don't know which one is this.
It's a duck.
It's a duck. Oh, what a lovely duck with such blue head.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have a cock. And then of course peacock.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful spotting and identifying activity. Moving on, we have rhyming words, children. This is one of my most favorite activities where we rhyme words and make other words rhyming them.
Okay.
Rhyming words meaning words which make similar sounds, dear children. Like the first one, we have done it for you, grow and crow. Since both of them are making ow kind of sound.
Okay.
Let us find out the name of other birds here using rhyming words.
Okay.
Carrot.
Then parrot.
Wonderful. Pen.
Hen.
Great. Arrow.
Sparrow.
And lastly, block.
Peacock.
Yay! Great. So
All right.
You did amazingly well even in this activity. And here we come to an end. Dear children, you are to make sentences using the words in the box. Using words in each box. Once, you will be able to make several sentences. I will make one sentence for you. That is, today I will go to a village. And rest of the sentences you are going to make. I'm sure you are going to have a lot of fun doing this activity.
Absolutely, and we will be waiting for your home assignments, and we will check them. Ma'am will check them, and she will definitely give you some kind of marks. So please make sure that you complete the activity and send the email to us with your home assignment. And now it's time for me to thank our ma'am for this colorful session and for making us know about that crow who finally accepted himself with the help of his friends, and that's what we should all do. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
contribution to the session. It was indeed a pleasure. And now it's time for something very important. Yes, here's an important update. So viewers, we hope that you enjoyed Pariksha Pe Charcha 2025 with the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and we are excited to announce that this year's edition brings a fresh perspective with its 7 upcoming episodes featuring distinguished personalities across various fields. Now these sessions will cover topics including mental health, technology and finance, nutrition and mindfulness, aimed at guiding students in their journey of learning and personal growth. So tune in from 12th to 18th of February 2025 at 10 a.m. live on Doordarshan channels. Don't miss out on these invaluable insights. And if at all we have any video, then of course you can watch that video as well.
परीक्षा पे चर्चा के 8th एडिशन के नए अंदाज में हो चुकी है शुरुआत। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने स्टूडेंट्स को दिए एग्जाम और लाइफ से जुड़े वैल्यूएबल टिप्स। आगे इस चर्चा से जुड़ेंगे अलग अलग फील्ड्स के एक्सपर्ट्स जैसे दीपिका पादुकोण, मैरी कॉम, फूड फार्मर, सदगुरु इत्यादि, जो 7 नए एपिसोड्स में एडवाइस देंगे मेंटल हेल्थ, न्यूट्रिशन एंड वेलबींग के बारे में। तो देखना ना भूलें 12 फरवरी से रोज सुबह 10 बजे डीडी न्यूज और नरेंद्र मोदी यूट्यूब चैनल पर।
See, I told you we have a video, and what a wonderful video that was. Now it's time for me to actually close the session, but before I do that, here is a live schedule. Of course, all these programs that you have been watching since morning and those that you'll be watching in a while. So we are through with a session of English, and we of course learned the poem The Crow. In a short while from now, you can watch a session in mathematics, and at 4 p.m. we will bring you a session on online training. Yes, that is going to be the day 1 of the session. At 5 p.m. we will bring you our session Sahyog. All the topics are right there in front of you, and you can watch all these programs on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. With this as a wrap, this is me Harpreet Kaur taking leave of you, and I will join you soon. Namaskar.